Welcome back to Skippable Cutscenes. Lisa, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Lisa. I played Judgement, the tiefling dragonborn sorceress.
So today we're going to do a little bit of a flashback episode. Following the attack on the Weaver's base, our hero spent the day repairing the compound that they had done some serious damage to, re-erecting some of the towers, and making it look like normal for when the Weaver arrives in the morning.
Nothing ever happened.
And feeling exhausted and sitting around the campfire eating the food that the base had in it, they started to talk about their past a little bit and what led them here. And this is Judgment's story.
Yeah, I have a story. I feel like I've told a lot of it already.
Yeah. Now, because this is a story being told at a campfire, we'll be using our normal character sheets for our current level. So when you say something like, I fought as hard as I could, that means representative to the listener at your current level. So also level 1's boring, that's why.
Yes. And also, since we leveled since last time, I now have a new spell.
All right, this story takes us all the way to Port Cassia a number of years ago. Port Cassia is a massive city on a tiny island, constantly expanding and under construction. Much of the existing city is built on reclaimed land made by dumping large amounts of industrial slag into the surrounding waters until it breached the surface enough to build on. Much of the city is between 4 and 8 stories tall, haphazardly arranged, and difficult to navigate outside of the main thoroughfares. Most of the buildings and roads are constructed out of a mix of leftover industrial slag and a brownish orange or green glass shards held together with cement. The glass shards often emit a faint magical glow, especially when walked over.
Mm-hmm. It's a magical place.
It is.
It's where I'm from.
It is where you're from.
Yes.
And for those who have played Dishonored, imagine like a more medieval version of Dunwall mixed with a little bit of the actual real life Kowloon walled city. Kind of a mess, but also kind of interesting at the same time.
I don't know how that looks. I have pictures that you sent me a year ago by now.
Oh, more than that.
It's been a while. Yeah, I think we first started recording at like May of last year.
Yep.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and then the first episode went up. It would have gone up early July of last year, but I had a vacation the first week of July and ended up pushing some stuff back. So
yeah,
I'm going to cut that part out.
You shouldn't.
All right, well, it has been less than a year since your mother's murder, and you've been on the street. You've been doing errands off and on for your dealer. You have become very enamored with a substance called shine, which when you eat it, makes you feel happy like you haven't felt in a long time. And he comes to you. What is his name?
I don't remember his name. I was just drugged all the time, so that time of my life is a bit of a fog.
He's a halfling, and his name is Merrick.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm making this up.
I'm
the DM.
Named Merrick?
Merric, according to the Xanathar's Guide of Names. And he says that he has a job for you. A group of local thieves have approached him in need of someone of your stature to crawl through a small space and unlock a door for them.
Yeah, I remember it well. They had this really sweet house scoped out, I think, if I remember correctly.
This is not the same story that you started with.
No?
No, this is before. This is just before your 13th birthday.
Oh, what?
Which is why you remember.
Well, I was still on drugs, though.
Yeah.
Right, so, yeah. I was only 13, huh?
Well, not yet.
Yeah, I guess. But right. So they need me to crawl through this space, through this.
Yep.
What is it? Window or what?
It is a small tunnel in the sewers.
Oh no. I hate the sewers. That's where rats live.
Yeah, rats and mice and stuff. They're so disgusting, aren't they?
Most of them. Yeah.
All right. If you would like some more shine, meet them at the. God damn it! I don't have any place names for here. Meet them at the corner next to the blacksmith shop. That's right around the corner.
Okay.
At as soon as the sun goes down.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a bit too early right now. Okay. Do I need to bring anything? Other than, of course, my thieving tools.
I believe that they mostly need you for your stature, so anything that is not... Don't bring anything bulky.
I'm not that tiny, though.
You're 12.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess so. Because right now, like, adult me, which means 17-year-old me, is 5.9 feet. Wait, that's 5 feet 9 inches. So that's tall. That's 1 meter 80.
5.9 feet. Oh, Europe.
What?
I'm just making a joke about. Oh, there was a meme because there's a meme about the difference between 6 foot and 5'11". Where like 6 foot is tall and 5'11" is short. And
I don't even know the difference between the two.
There's 12 inches
this
in a
joke
foot.
Is
so
lost on me.
Okay, well no, this is what's funny about it. Because there's 12 inches in a foot, the only difference is an inch. Is you know the size of a D20.
Sure.
But someone from Europe tried to mimic this meme post, and they had 5'9" versus 6'1" or whatever, because they thought that it went from 5'9" and 5'10" was 6 foot, so they were really confused in their in their post. And I think I'll ask Marissa to link me this particular thing later so that I can put it somewhere so that people can see. Because
yeah, I'm curious.
From the American perspective, it makes no sense because it was just the normal. I'm 6 foot, so I'm super tall and hot and stuff, or I'm 5'11", so I'm a short dwarf. Yeah. Even though the difference is minuscule, the width of your thumb.
But the difference between 5.9 meters and 6 meters is 10 centimeters, so it's still not a lot. It's like
10 centimeters is
the width of your hand.
Yeah, it's like
so it's not
still
that
for
substantial.
For someone's height, that's quite a bit of difference. Like,
I suppose
when I'm wearing heels that are that tall, I am fucking tall.
They are, regardless of how tall you are, 10 centimeter heels is not suitable for shopping. Or standing on your feet all day, regardless of what you're doing.
What is that? That's like 5 inches, I think.
I have no idea.
Something like that.
It's 10 centimeters is basic. I actually have a measuring thing here next to me. Because, yay, moving. Yeah, it's basically the width of your hand. Going from your
it's 4
pinky
inches.
Knuckle to your... Actually, I can just check it, because this has inches. Yeah, it is 4 inches.
Yeah,
I have one of those measuring tapes, and it has centimeters on one side and inches on the other. Yeah.
I was definitely wearing 10 centimeter heels 3 days ago.
Oh my god, you are terrible. Why would you do that to yourself?
They weren't. Okay, they weren't. They were heels on combat boot style things, so they had a big chunky heel, so it wasn't that uncomfortable.
Helpful. Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh god, I couldn't like 4-inch stiletto style things. I would literally punch through concrete.
Yep.
I'm too tall for that.
God, that would be so awesome, though.
But yeah, I'm like, that makes me almost 6'6".
Oh my goodness.
which I will convert that into.
Well, if 5'9" is 180, then 6'6" is a lot. That's how I measure things.
That is just shy of 2 meters.
Oh, that's not super bad, but it's tall. Yeah.
Yeah, 198 centimeters.
Especially being a woman.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, I am 13 and I'm small.
you're 12. It's almost your 13th birthday. You're
Look,
12. You're
I'm-
12 and 7/8.
I am 12 going on 13, so I'm going to just say I'm basically 13. Okay?
Do you do any work or prep before you go, or do you just arrive at the time that was specified?
I don't think I have to prep for anything. No, I'm
right.
good.
All right. Well, you arrive at the blacksmith shop when you were told, and there is a male elf waiting there. He has sort of a like lavender colored hair. It is long on one side and then shaved on the left side of his head. He's got a couple of interesting earrings, and his eyes are a sort of it's like striations of gold through violet eyes.
Ooh.
And you can tell that this is a Tamlin elf.
Okay. I don't really deal with elves usually, because, I mean, I'm a tiefling, and, elves don't normally really hang out with folks like me, so I'm a little intimidated by this guy.
He's not fancily dressed. He is dressed for half punk, half thief, if that makes sense.
Sure. Does he have, I'm gonna look at him and look for, safety pins. I imagine he has some safety pins somewhere, either in his body, on it, or in his clothes.
You don't visibly see any safety pins, but you just see he has a nose piercing.
And it's not a safety pin?
It's not a safety pin. It is an actual,
Elves
jewelry
trying
piercing.
to be punks. Always the same with those folks.
Yeah. He says, "Hello, you must be Judgement. My name is
am.
Roland."
Hello, Roland. Are you, who I was supposed to meet?
Yes. He looks you over. You're not sexually, more like measurements for, almost like a tailor looking over somebody. It's like, I think you'll fit.
I think so too. Is it just you and me, or are we expecting anyone else?
He looks around, and you notice that there are 3 other figures who have stepped out. One appears to be a human, female. The 2 others are, let's see. One is a half orc, and one of them is a dragonborn. The dragonborn appears to be female. The half orc appears to be male. But they all sort of have that punk aesthetic, like they live in a post-apocalyptic world where they roller skate all the time.
And the half orc was male?
Yes.
I roll
the
my
crew.
eyes as I see the dragonborn, but I don't say anything.
Okay.
It's not
let's
really.
get started.
I don't really like dragonborn. Yeah. Let's.
Do you say that, or do you say that out loud?
No. I don't say anything out loud, but I roll my eyes and I kind of just try to ignore them.
All right. Roland says, "I think we should get started." He sort of pops his collar up a little bit and starts to lead on.
What color is the dragonborn?
He is sort of copper colored.
She?
Or she. Yeah, she's copper colored.
Ah. So that's a fire dragonborn, I think. Probably. I don't know where my book is. This moving business is terrible.
I still
Oh, here
haven't
it is. I have it.
found my actual books. I'm using Marissa's books.
No, I found it. Oh yeah, I'm going through what you've been going through right now. Oh no! Come on, give me the book. Yes, please, please give. It's like right here. Okay. Sorry, you're gonna have to edit out a lot of rumbling there, or don't. That's fine too. Okay. Not good.
Copper dragons have acid breath.
Acid. I see. I was looking up the same thing. I just found it. Okay. Acid. Well, okay.
Alrighty.
Right. So, where are we off to?
We're off to the sewers. He leads behind the blacksmith shop, and there's a sewer grate that's large enough for people to fit in. The human steps up, and she waves her hands over it, and you see sort of like arcane light come from them, and the grate lifts up and is moved aside.
I find myself looking at what she's doing with open mouth. That's amazing. Are you a wizard?
She looks at you and is like, no, I get my powers from somewhere else. And she hops down the hole first.
Oh, I see. All right. I'm going to go in after her.
All right. The half-orc is down next, followed by the dragonborn, then followed by Roland, who seems to be taking up the rear.
Mm-hmm.
You head in the sewers. Roll a perception check.
All right. Perception. Well, 3. Wait, how can I roll a 0? No, I didn't. Never mind. I misread. Okay.
Wait, did you roll a 1?
No, I rolled a 3, but I thought I rolled a 3 plus 0 because I have 0 on perception.
Yeah, okay.
But I misread.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, it is possible for you to get negative scores on your
Really?
rolls. If you have like -3 to your something and you roll a 2, then you definitely get -1, which is usually a failure.
Well, yeah. No, I always try to get at least all of my stats into the 0, at least. But yeah, 3. I'm probably oblivious to everything. I'm just amazed by this warlock who just opened a grate like that, and it's just mesmerizing. So I just happily skip along after her.
All right. And she also rolls very poorly on her perception roll, leading the charge.
Mm.
You watch as she's walking forward, the air around her seems to jiggle, and she starts to scream.
Can I grab her and pull her back?
I need you to roll initiative, actually.
Oh no. It's just me. Oh my god, no. That's a 3. That isn't great at all. Oh, by the way, I assumed after last session that we hadn't replenished our hit points, or in my case, sorcery points or hit dice.
You would have all that back right now, and you're going to be resting, so you'll have that for the future.
Oh, okay, good. I'll make sure.
So don't worry
it's
about
all at full. Good.
Alrighty. It is the half-orc's turn up first. Grab my... And as this is... As you look around during her screaming moments, you realize that there's a bunch of, like, polished bones around you. The area is otherwise fairly clean, as in, like, something's been dissolving or cleaning up everything around it.
Ew. I don't like it.
And you can see with the jiggles the outline of a large, mostly square, cube-shaped, gelatinous creature.
It's a flan!
seems to be slowly sucking in this this human warlock.
No! Oh no. Well, okay.
The orc takes a shot with their crossbow and misses. They're going to reload and try again and miss again. The warlock here, what is it when they're engulfed? Yeah, the warlock gets fully sucked into the cube.
Yeah.
So you can see her in there, and you can like see like parts of her clothes like dissolving a little bit.
Oh no.
And her flesh too.
She is rip.
She's obviously not dead yet.
But she should be. I think I should
she
blow her up.
Is going to
because
make a okay.
That's
okay,
terrible.
She manages to on her turn. You're not sure entirely how. Like her eyes go black, and there's a little bit of like black smoke coming up around her legs, and then she's able to reach outside onto the walls and pull herself back out. And she's like covered in goo, and her skin is like irritatedly red, like when you scratch it too much. And she's a bit stunned, and that is her turn.
Oh no. How does it smell though?
It smells a little corrosive, like battery acid.
Yeah.
And like when you actually battery acid doesn't really have a smell. It's sort of the subtle metallic smell to it.
Gross. Okay. Yuck.
And she's like coughing for air. You think she may have gotten some of the material into her lungs.
That's disgusting.
All right, the Dragonborn uses their acid breath.
Yeah, that's gonna help on an acid flan or whatever the fuck it's called.
It is not immune to acid damage.
Oh!
So it takes...
Not as useless as most Dragonborns, then.
Takes 6 points of acid damage.
Now what should be immune to fire?
It is Roland's turn, and they are going to shoot at it with their crossbow. And they hit. And that's DC. And it has an adjacent ally, so they get their sneak attack damage. They do 16 points. And it is your turn. You are right next to the human warlock, and directly in front of you, as in 5 feet in front of you, is this creature.
Ew. All right. Well, I'm going.
And you have seen it move into and suck in somebody.
Yeah. Well, then first let's move. I'm going to move back. You know what? I'm going to move back 30 feet if I can.
All right, you are going to take an opportunity attack,
Oh,
but
right.
only one of them. It's not that big of a deal relative
You
to
know
getting
what?
engulfed.
What about? I use
and
my
you can-
bonus action for expeditious retreat.
Yeah, that should prevent. Yeah, that would prevent.
Right? That prevents opportunity attack, right?
I believe so.
It doesn't say it in my.
Oh, let me double
Let me
check
see.
that. Expedition.
It just says that I can use my dash action.
Oh, okay. Then that would not prevent
Well, then I don't use
opportunity
it.
attacks. Okay.
Expeditious. Double check. As well. Yeah, no. You know,
Okay.
that spell seemed so handy when I got it, but it's not. I don't think I've ever used it successfully.
If you want to swap it out, I won't complain.
Nah, it's fine. So I won't use that because fuck it. I'll just you know what? I have a little bit of health pool, so I am going to just firebolt this thing.
All right. Firebolt is a dex save.
It is. It doesn't tell me. Why does it not tell me? Firebolt. Let me check inside.
Or is it an attack roll?
It is an attack roll. Oh, that's why.
Then roll your attack for it.
Yeah. Right. I rolled 18.
That hits.
Good.
You find that with the creature this size and this very, with its squishy exterior, is very easy to hit. Roll your damage.
All right. 13 fire
13.
damage. Can I use empowered spell for this?
What does that do? You spend a sorcery point to...
I spend a sorcery point. When I roll damage for a spell, you can spend 1 sorcery point to re-roll a number of the damage dice.
Okay.
Up to your charisma modifier.
Okay, so if there are any...
You must use the new rolls.
Yeah, so if there's any like ones, you can re-roll them if you would like to. And you could, since you have high charisma, you can roll 5, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, do I roll 5 times for 1 sorcery point?
No, you of the dice that were in there, which how many was it, like 2d 2d8 or something? Yeah, you could re-roll both of those, and then you would take whatever the new result is. So if you rolled
okay.
Yeah, so it's a way to like, oh gosh, I rolled all ones with my fucking damage. That fucking's bullshit. You can say, wait a minute, I'm gonna spend a sorcery point, and then do that again.
Okay, well let's gamble.
All right.
Here we go. Yeah, that is better. That is 11 instead of 30. No, it's not better. Damn it. Okay,
well,
we're going with 11. Fuck it. 11
right.
fire damage.
Right.
I'm only 13.
Would you like to move?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, I should take away my temporary hit points. Don't have those anymore.
All right. It is the cube's turn. It is adjacent to you and to the human warlock. It is going to roll a d6 to choose which one to try and engulf. And it is going to try and engulf the warlock again.
She is toast.
Let's see.
Poor lady. I never even knew her name. Quick, tell me her name!
Names.
Come on, you
Her
haven't
name?
prepared.
Her name is Saffron.
Saffron?
Yep.
Interesting. In a different dimension, with a different personality, I know another Saffron.
Oh, in a different game you play?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, they might have gotten the name from the exact same place I did.
Probably.
All right. So, let's see. Yeah, it's gonna try and get engulfed, so she needs to make a dex saving throw. She gets a natural 20, so she moves out of the way before before getting engulfed. And engulf this is a full action, right? That is the end of the cube's turn. We're back to the top of the round. The orc is gonna reload his crossbow and take another shot, and misses again with a natural 2. It's gonna reload, and this time finally fucking hits. And does 6 damage. Next up is the human warlock, who's going to back up, risking the opportunity attack, which means that on your turn you can move too, because its reaction would be spent.
Oh, okay.
10 plus 4 does get hit.
Oof.
3d6. So 4 takes 11 points of acid damage. They seem hurt, but not too hurt. You watch as the cube gets a swirl of black energy around it, like this black smoke coming up behind it, and then her eyes turn black again, and out of her hand comes two bolts of like purplish twisting energy.
Wow.
Both of which hit, totaling 11 damage.
Wow.
All right, so she's backed up. It is the Dragonborn's turn. They also are going to take a crossbow shot, but they don't seem to be as proficient in crossbows as everybody else does. Though they managed to hit with one for 3 damage. So it's Roland's turn. Also staying back with a crossbow, hits with both. Gets the sneak attack damage for 18 more damage. All right. We are back down to your turn. The cube has had little pockets of gel that have been like little holes that have been poked out of it. Especially as each of the like darts that come through, they sink in a little bit when they're not very strong, but like when Roland shoots, because he's very good at it, it goes all the way through, like leaving like a, if you've ever seen those like ballistic gel tests, where there's like this bubble that forms, that's what happens when he shoots his. It is back to your turn. You are directly adjacent to this cube, and it has burned its reaction.
It has burned its reaction, right? So I can move back. I'm gonna move back as far as I can. But since we're inside, I will let you tell me how far that is.
No, it's fairly open. The sewers here are quite large because, well, the way the water works here is that it's always flowing, and there's always need for large sewers with how dense the city is.
Right. Okay. Well, then I move back a full 30 feet.
All right.
And I will. Where's the warlock right now?
They moved back 25 feet, so they are next to Roland.
So there's nobody directly adjacent to the
creature
clan or whatever.
Yeah, it is a gelatinous cube.
Okay. Well, I am going to use my new spell, Wall of Fire, because I'm telling this as heroically as possible, hoping that my travel companions won't notice this.
All right.
And I use Wall of Fire at level 4. So I create a Wall of Fire.
What path does this wall take?
It is like across the sewer pipe, I guess. And it just divides the area between it's directly between the gelatinous monster and us.
I think you could effectively surround it entirely with fire, with the way the spell is worded.
Surround it? Well, yeah, I guess, but we don't necessarily need to.
Okay.
I guess I could, but I make the wall. See, because the thing is, if I make it a ring, it can be 20 feet in diameter and 20 feet high. But since it has no way of getting around, I will just make it a wall because it can go up to 60 feet long. Oh, it's still 20 feet high. I misread, but it's fine though. And it's a foot thick.
Yeah, you get the idea that this cube can't jump.
Yeah. So either way, a ring seems good because then it can't flee us either. So I'll just use a ring instead. Yes, and it's it's completely like the sight. We don't have sight of it anymore. We know it's in there, but the wall is opaque, and it lasts.
So shots through it would be a disadvantage. Yeah, it'll last for a minute, I think.
I don't know if it would be disadvantaged.
If you can't see a creature, it's generally a disadvantage when you attack it, which is fine.
But would the crossbow bolts set on fire though?
They may. Does it say anything about affecting? Because there are spells like a wind wall that will affect projectiles going through them. If it doesn't say, then it won't.
Let's see. When the wall appears, it must make a dex saving throw. That's one.
It fails.
It fails? Good. Then it takes 5d8 fire damage, which...
Roll your damage. Its dex score is -4.
Okay. Well,
These are not very dexterous creatures.
I rolled 19 fire damage.
19 fire damage. All right.
So
And I believe at the start of its turn, it takes damage?
a creature takes the same damage when it enters the wall for the first time on a turn or ends its turn there.
Okay. So that damage would take effect at the start of its turn, which is next.
Other side of the wall deals no damage. So that's cool.
So you can...
So we can walk through it, but it can't.
Yeah, or you can be next to the wall and then attack through it.
Yeah. So...
Alrighty.
So fuck you, Flan. Or... undexterity is Jello. Yes.
Gelatinous cubes. These are the things that kill level 3 characters.
Oh.
Because they're not paying attention and they walk right into it, and the engulf is very powerful when it works.
That tells me something about this warlock.
They rolled a natural 1 on their perception check,
Oh shit.
which is why they walked right into it.
I forget.
And rolled really well on getting out of it, which was...
Yeah, lucky. I guess. Yeah. All right. Well, it's now. It's yay! I put it in fire.
You can tell that this cube is losing a lot of its like structural integrity, where there's like fluid spewing out of the holes that have been put into it, and it looks really rough.
Good.
Also, these things are dumb, and being surrounded by fire, it doesn't really know what to do. Is that the end of your turn, by the way?
Yes.
It is... I'm not sure if it's smart enough to flee, so it's actually going to push through the fire towards you, through the wall.
Does it take the 19 damage again?
I believe it would only do that at the start of its turn, which it just took. So it did take the 19 damage.
Or
that's
ends
how it's
its
worded.
turn there. It says a creature takes the same damage when it enters the wall for the first time on a turn, or
Okay.
ends its turn there.
Okay, so this is when it would have taken that damage then. Okay, when it moves through.
Yeah.
All right. It moves through as far as it can. Does it count as rough terrain? I don't think it does. It moves through as far as it can, which you realize its speed seems to be 15 feet. So you are both, or everyone is clear of it.
15 feet speed. Of course it would be. It has no legs, after all. It should have learned to be a Barbapapa, because that way it could have just grown feet out of its ass. But
Its
no.
intelligence score is -5. These are instinctual blobs of eat/dissolve, like giant amoebas.
Right. It's Jello.
It is a thing of jello. All right. It is the orc's turn.
You want to
They
hear
love
a
their episode.
funny thing about Jello?
Yeah.
As I was growing up, and I don't know the context for this, so forgive me, but like as I was growing up, I used to be super into Jello, like as a little girl, and I'm talking like 5 years old or something, and for some reason, my mother used to call it Liberty's buttocks.
Liberty's buttocks.
And I don't know why. I don't know.
Well, I know we have an episode name now. But Liberty's buttocks.
And that's a free
How does-
translation, of course. But yeah, it's Liberty's buttocks. I don't know why.
Liberty's buttocks.
I'm trying to find out why as well.
Is it like is Jello like some sort of American cultural hegemony there, or
No, well, I mean, Jello used to be, like we used to get it from the UK. My mother had a partner from the UK, And that's
Oh,
how
okay.
she kind of discovered it, I guess.
Okay, so it wasn't really a thing in there. Okay.
No, it wasn't. I really think that she made that name up, or she and her partner did, but I still don't quite understand where that reference came from. But all I know is that if I was to ask for Jell-O, I'd be like, Mom, can I have some Liberty's buttocks?
What's the Dutch word for that?
Billen van Liberty.
Billen van Liberty.
Billen, meaning buttocks.
Mm-hmm.
Van, meaning off. And Liberty.
And Liberty.
Yeah. And I don't know why. One of the first things I was able to say in English, though. Apart from upside down, which was actually the first word I learned in English.
It's a very fun word.
The thing with upside down, where that came from, is because that said partner, the British guy, he and I couldn't communicate, so he would just like play with me, and like he had this thing where he would pick me up by my ankles and hold me upside down, and so he taught me upside down, and that's how I knew, and so I would yell upside down, upside down. Yeah,
that's kind of sweet.
Upside down, and then Liberty's buttocks. That's how my English started in life, so now you know why I stumble.
Anyway,
yeah.
So the orc steps forward and fires their crossbow, gets a natural 20, and their dart shoots straight through the center of the flaming gelatinous cube, and then it loses all structural integrity and collapses, extinguishing the firewall.
Splat.
It just splats and it's gone.
Haha! We won! And I just, I fist pump.
Yeah, the warlocks, they're little panting and like coughing up acidic goop.
Gross. I'm gonna stay a bit further away from her now. I was in awe, but now I'm kind of like grossed out.
Well, also, she did have black eyes and shoot out eldritch blast energy at this thing.
Yeah, but I mean, have you seen my eyes? They're solid gold, dude. I don't really get spooked by strange eyes. I mean, I have horns, for fuck's sake. I'm used to seeing stuff.
Anyway, Roland steps forward and says, that was close. We need to keep moving. And then he takes the lead this time. A little bit of a glare back at the warlock for missing the cube. And he successfully navigates you to, it's a grate that's closed and like locked, but there is a tunnel that looks like it was either, it doesn't look like it was dug. It looks like it was either, how do I want to describe this? No, let's say it's just a smaller sewer tunnel that is child-sized. And it loops around here, and they need to get through this grate. And it is locked from the other side, and they can't get to it. And he comes to you and says, this is your part. You just need to crawl through there and open this from the other side.
So there's a big like gate that I need to open by climbing through that little tunnel.
Yeah.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah.
So I get on all fours and I crawl into the small opening.
All right. Roll a dexterity check to see how good your time goes scrunching through this thing.
19.
Yeah, you have no issue crawling the 25 feet semi-circuitous path this takes you. You emerge from the other side of the tunnel. You can see that the reason why they couldn't just sort of reach around and pick the lock is because it has like a grate at the bottom for water to flow through, but the rest of it is like a steel plate.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't get their hands or tools through anything.
Yeah.
And you walk up to the door, and what do you do?
I'm going to use my thieves' tools to try and open it, because it's locked, right? So I need to lockpick it?
Is it locked?
I don't
It may
know.
just be it may just be a door that.
Well, I'll just try it then.
Okay, the door opens.
Oh.
You can tell that it can only be open from this side.
Okay. Yeah. So, hi guys, come on through.
All right. Roland says, "Good job."
Thanks. So when do I get paid?
Oh, when we get back.
All right.
Do you want to stay here, or are you going to come with us? We don't really need you, but you do seem to be able to handle yourself.
I kind of like turn my foot, trying to decide. Yeah, I'll join for now. I have nothing better to do.
All right. Welcome to the group. You sort of gather as you're walking to the next part that this gate separates the slightly richer part of town from the poorer part of town in the sewers because they've had infiltrations before, and the gate behind you was put in to prevent exactly what's about to happen, and someone's going to sneak up into someone's house or property or business or whatever and get some looting done.
Rob them blind. Yes.
Probably not blind.
So I assume, Roland, that I will get a bigger cut, considering I'm actually helping with the next bits.
Yep.
Because, shine is nice, but a bit of pocket money would go a long way.
Oh, you're into shine. That stuff is, it does let you feel really nice.
It does. It does. It was wonderful. So, yeah.
He sighs a little bit with like a tinge of regret almost of not feeling good right now. Mm-hmm. A feeling that
Mm-hmm. That I'm feeling also, probably.
That you wish that you could just feel that good all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that moment when just all of this bullshit that's around you bleeds away and all you just feel is this overwhelming sense of euphoria.
Mm-hmm. Just drifting away on your bliss. It's wonderful.
All right. He seems to be counting each hallway that he passes in the sewers and turns right at a particular number and then left again and ends up at a ladder leading up into something you can't see up into. But it does seem to be an exit. And he looks up, looks around, indicates to the warlock to magically lift the grate. And he goes up and peeks and looks around. Whispers down that, all right, let's go. And he climbs up and out, and everyone follows.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna make sure.
Well.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I'm lost, though. I'm always gonna lag behind.
Okay. Roll a stealth check.
Oh, shit. Okay. That's not bad. That's a 19.
That's great. You actually do better than everybody else.
Yeah, I told you I was trying to go unnoticed.
It's actually Roland who rolled a natural 1 and trips, and you hear a metallic tin on stone clattering sound. Like a tin cup was knocked over, and it just ping, 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 rattle, 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 rattle before it stops.
Yeah, I immediately, upon hearing that, I press myself back into the shadows.
Yeah. Everyone has done this as well. And a minute passes. About 2 minutes. No sound. Nothing. And then Roland steps out again, peeks around, and you look around and realize that you are in some kind of basement. It looks like a storehouse of some sort, either a shop or just a rich person who has way too much crap.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts looting through containers very meticulously, like he's looking for something. Everybody else, less meticulously. They're sort of opening, looking, and just pulling anything that looks valuable. He seems to have his eye on something.
Yeah, I want to look around as well.
All right. Most of the goods are like silverware, like actual silverware, ornate tinned cups. Like you imagine this like a silversmith's kind of shop wares.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it does have actual jewels on it for like jewelry type, or like that, but most of it is just fine silverware,
Oh.
which is valuable.
Is there any
that's-
like jewelry silver stuff, like a medallion maybe? Maybe a locket or something?
Roll an investigation check.
Oh, that's a natural 20.
You find a beautiful silver locket with no tarnish on it. It looks like it was made yesterday.
Wow. Yeah, I'm definitely.
And you know what?
taking that.
You know what this locket would be perfect for?
A photo of my mother.
Exactly.
Yep. I am definitely adding that to my inventory. Yeah. Locket with photo. Silver
Which you've
locket.
had in your, you've had this in your inventory the whole time.
Yep, I did. I sure did. Yeah, I pocket that shit immediately.
All right. Roland is still searching around a bit frantically, trying to find a thing. Okay, good. 17. He opens a particular cabinet in the corner that looks a little bit set aside from the others, and inside, his eye, you don't see what he's looking at, but his eyes widen, and he pulls out an item and puts it into his clothes and says, "All right, I think we're done here.
What is it?
Is everyone good?"
What did you find?
What I was hired to get.
What was it? I'm curious.
He holds it up, and it is it's a candlestick,
Oh.
but it has when he waves it around, it has a little bit of like an arcane glow to it, so you suspect it's some kind of magic item.
Interesting. Okay. Cool. Cool candlestick. This is all?
I think so. I mean, do you have what you need? We shouldn't make much noise, but I mean, upstairs is just more risk and less stuff.
All right. Well, I'm good to go then. Are there any...
he looks-
Do you think there would be any magical weapons strewn around?
You gather that this is not a weapon crafting operation. This is a...
Oh, right.
Yeah, you feel like maybe that this magic item was just delivered here because they had made the initial item to be enchanted, and then it came back to them because they sent it out to be enchanted, and they're giving it to somebody, and this guy was just going to steal it instead.
Ha! Cool. Okay.
All right. As you start to leave, you hear a noise from upstairs, and some people very quickly rush down the stairs.
Oh, no.
They seem to be wearing armor and are heavily armed. They are not the local constabulatory, whatever the right way to pronounce that is, and they are not
City guards?
guards.
Right.
City guards, yeah. They're neither of, so these are like mercenary guards.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Oh, looks like we have some invaders." And the person who said this is Dragonborn. The other two you can't tell because it's dark. And he opens up with a acid breath as well. He's also copper, whatever. And he hits the orc and the warlock.
Oh no. Can we retreat somehow? Like, can we just flee into the sewers?
The way to the sewers is slightly blocked.
Oh,
You'd have to sort of go through them, but it is still ajar, and it is a way out. But I do need you to roll initiative again.
Yeah, I thought so. 11.
11. Okay, so
How many people were there, you said?
you gather there were 3 of these
Okay.
guards, or whatever you want to call them, security guards, hired thugs. Not entirely sure. They seem nasty.
Yeah.
All right, so the guard just dragon breath. He actually did roll the top of the initiative. So next is one of the other guards who is going to go up to the human warlock and misses wildly with a natural 2. They're going to attack again because they can do that. 17, that hits. They pulled out their sword, which they take 11 points of damage, and the human warlock looks extremely rough, like a straight gash across their body, and a lot of blood is oozing from it, and they're having trouble staying conscious.
Yeah, she's gonna die. That's just a given now.
He is going to use an action surge and attack her again, gets a natural 20.
So she's dead.
And he whips his sword around and cuts right through her shoulder blade, all the way through.
Oh.
Pulls it out and she collapses.
Oh, poor girl. Well, Saffron, I'm glad I learned your name.
He has another attack to go against the orc. That does hit. And that is 14 points of damage. Next up is Roland, who looks around a little bit and says, fuck. Fuck. And then he goes up to the first guard that's closest to him, that is adjacent to the orc, which is the one that did attack and kill her, and he's going to roll his, and he angrily stabs out with his dagger and misses, and he's going to do it again because he can do that, and does even worse the second time. Next after that is your turn. So there are 3 guards here. The orc and Roland are adjacent to one of them, the one that just slashed through the human warlock, who is now dead. And there are 2 others that look like they are about to fully engage the fray when they get their chance.
All right. Well, I am going to immediately. Let's see. So Roland and the orc are right next to 2 of them.
They're adjacent to one of them. They're maybe 10 feet away from the one that said that seems to be the captain of this guard, and then there's another one who's right next to him, about 5 or 10 feet away from him.
If I were to do an AoE spell with a 20-foot radius, could I avoid them?
Yes.
Okay, good. Then I point my finger at the Dragonborn, and I
near the Dragonborn to actually get the right path. But yeah, a spot on the ground near the Dragonborn.
Yeah,
and you're gonna fireball.
And
I assume I
am going to fireball. So I just explode into flame, and it's a dex saving throw.
All right, the Dragonborn fails. The guard that is next to Roland and the orc gets a natural 20, so that's success. And the other one gets a 17, which I believe 17 plus 2, so that would also succeed. So full damage on the Dragonborn, half damage on the other 2. How much?
22 fire.
That? 22 fire. 11 and 11. All right. The Dragonborn angrily stumbles a little bit and then stands back up, shakes it off. The room, however, all of the crates take a lot of damage. There's silverware flying everywhere. Crates exploding. Just fireball doesn't set anything on fire, correct?
It ignites. Yeah, it does, and it spreads around corners too, and it ignites flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried. So basically, all of the crates just burst into flame.
The crates do catch on fire, so there's dim light emanating from here, and there's the deafening sound of fireball, just the cacophony of that mixed with the scattering of metallic plates.
A roar
of money.
No, it's a roar of fire. I don't know where money came from.
I store my money in Liberty's ass crack.
I love it when my money roars.
Is that the end of your turn? Do you want to move?
I want to move as far away from everything as possible. Like, I want to... Is there a way for me to get closer to the door, but still as far away as possible?
Yeah, you can skirt against the back side of the wall, which is A, not on fire, and B, does get you closer to the thing. You'll still have to go towards them to get to it, but you're able to skirt around out of their way and put some crates between you and them.
All right, cool. Well, the crates are on fire, so that's helpful.
Not all of them, just some of them. Just the ones that were in the fireball area.
Yeah. For now...
It is the orc's turn. He is going to pull out his, he used his crossbow before, but you realize he probably isn't as good with that as he is with his sword, which he pulls out and shittily rolls both times and misses the guard in front of him with both of those.
Wow.
He's angry now.
Wow.
Next up is the guard that is not the Dragonborn. He is going to come up and also attack the half-orc. Definitely hits. And is going to attack again. Misses the second time. So that's... Okay, so that's 12 damage. He is going to spend his action surge and attack again. Hits the second time. 6, and slashes through the half-orc.
What?
Yeah.
Holy shit, they just... Like, slashed through? Like, through and through? He's dead?
Yeah. The half-orc falls.
Yikes, these guys are strong.
They are. He still has one more attack. He's going to take it against Roland, and it gets a natural 1.
Oh, thank fuck.
Next up is the Dragonborn, who, realizing the situation, is going to run for the grate, leaving everybody behind. Is going to provoke 2 opportunity attacks in the process. One's a hit, second one's a hit. Takes 18 points of damage.
Shit. It's just me and Roland against 3 guys.
They don't make it to the grate. They're right next to it, but they have they took a lot of damage to get there.
Oh,
Top of the
God.
round is the Dragonborn that got fireballed.
Doesn't the Dragonborn get like an attack still though?
They used their
They dashed?
They dashed to make it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
However, they are right next to the other Dragonborn, who rolled a natural 2 on their first attack, better on their second. 14. They're going to also use their action surge and attack again. So this the Dragonborn slashes through the Dragonborn, not killing them, but they are extremely rough. They like fall to their knees and are slowly, like, blood is gushing out of various spots, and it looks like they're about to lose consciousness.
Oh, shit.
Next up is the one that's adjacent to Roland, who's going to attack. Misses. Hits. Only 8 points of damage on Roland. Roland's turn. He looks around. Says, fuck.
I would too.
he is going to, since he's closer to the grate, he is going to disengage and he comes sort of near you and seems to try and hide behind the crates.
Okay. How far from the, what is it called? The grate? How far away from it am I right now?
You are now less than 30 feet from it. You're like 20 feet from it. It has immediately next to it both Dragonborns, the one who is nearly dying and the one who is scary. However, scary one has burned his reaction this turn.
Okay. So 20 feet, you said?
Yeah, so you can make it there without
And
provoking an
through.
opportunity attack and through. And it is now your turn.
I do just that. Yeah, that's what I do. I just make a run for it.
All right.
And Roland is right next to me. He's like, what, also 20 feet away from the grate then?
He's about 5 more feet away.
Okay.
And he's trying to be hidden. He sort of tried to hide behind one of the crates to either lure them out away from the Dragonborn, or you're not entirely sure what his plan is, but
Okay, well, I
seems to have one.
use all of my movement, my normal movement, so 30, to get
All right.
through the grate and 10 feet away from it. And I'm going to use minor illusion.
all right.
Let's see. I'm just checking. I'd like to make an illusion of like a keg of powder.
Okay.
And I want to put that near one of the flaming crates. Can I use the same minor illusion to do that and at the same time make a hissing noise?
I think minor illusion can only be auditory or visual, not both at the same time. I think it's major illusion or major image or something like that can do both.
Oh, that's problematic. So I'm gonna have to
However,
make sure it's in
There is
their
the sound
sight.
of fire
Yeah.
around everything. There's that
Yeah.
sound.
Well, I'm gonna make sure that I put it near a flaming crate, somewhere where they can very clearly see it.
Okay. All right.
And
let's
that's the end
see.
of my turn.
Okay. Next up is the Dragonborn, who is nearly dead. They are going to disengage and head down with you. In their state, though, they sort of slip on the ladder and fall, and they take a small amount of fall damage, 3 points.
And die.
No, but you do hear a leg crack, and they're not.
Oh.
They seem to be significantly slowed by that.
Sucks for them, dude. Oh.
Top of the round is the Dragonborn leader dude. You watch this broken leg Dragonborn. He's trying to stand up, and then you hear a
Oh no.
as a crossbow bolt goes straight through him, and then he slumps down, splashes into the sewer water, face down.
Ripperoonie.
And then you see, coming down the ladder, the Dragonborn
Oh no.
guard, looking around for you, and he sees you because you didn't try and hide at the end of your turn.
Uh-huh.
And that is the end of his turn, though. Actually, no, he should be able to take another shot because he's
God damn, those three
no, he's
guys
a crossbow.
just completely murdered
he
everyone.
reloads his crossbow on his turn.
Okay.
That's what he's able to do with his current build.
What happens if
next
I
is-
die in this? I mean, I won't, but that should be interesting.
You're just telling a story around the campfire, and then you're like, and then I died. End of story. Well, how'd you get here? I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. This guard does notice the keg of powder, but rolls really high on his intelligence check to determine that it is an illusion
Shit.
with a natural 19.
An investigation check, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He does not, however, find Roland and is searching around a little bit. Next up is Roland's turn. Let's see. Good. Okay. Yeah. You do see him coming down the ladder behind this Dragonborn. Only he's doing it very stealthily, and the Dragonborn does not notice him.
Good. Backstab him.
And that is exactly what he's going to do.
Yes.
And he gets a natural 20.
Yes. Roland
Which
for
doubles-
the win.
Which doubles the sneak attack die.
Dude, imagine how much money is going to be in this for Roland and me since we don't have to split it with 3 other people anymore. Score!
And the Dragonborn goes down.
Yes!
41 points of damage.
Jesus Christ, okay.
When rogues crit, they double their sneak attack die.
Nice.
Which, well, if it was a sneak attack, which in this case it was. So, yeah.
Nice. So
And-
we're out of the woods because nobody
Everybody
saw him
else
go.
is dead.
Yeah, and nobody saw him go through. So
Yep.
we're good.
Yeah, he starts to run back towards the way you came, and
Yeah, I join him.
all right. Let's see if there's any complications getting there. No, he's able to navigate back to the way that you came. And as soon as you get past the metal grate, he goes up against the wall and just starts sighing, and then he says fuck a lot more angrily, and then he also starts to sob at the same time.
Oh, so I guess high-fiving him is out of the question then?
Yeah, you get the feeling that this kind of messed him up, and he looks at you and is like, I'm sorry.
Nah, man, I'm sorry that you lost your people. It was really good doing a mission with you, though. But so, like, I mean, you're strong. I'd run with you again if there's a good money to be made.
He sort of glares at you. A little nonplussed, and you get the feeling like he's fucking done. That he's out of this. This is his last job.
Oh no, really? Okay, well, okay.
Well, you get the feeling after this, yes.
Yeah.
Well, he went fine, he might have, but now he's like, I should get on a ship after this and just go. I'll make sure that we didn't give your dealer a name. Did we give your dealer? It was Merrick.
Yeah.
I'll make sure Merrick gets your share.
No.
He told me that it's your.
Just give Merrick. Don't give Merrick anything. Just tell him that I fulfilled my job, and give him enough for 1 doses of shine, and just make sure that the rest of the profits go to me directly, please.
All right. Is there a place where you're staying that I can send that to?
Or
do you want me to just show up before I leave?
Yeah, just show up.
All right. Okay. And he stumbles off in his direction, and you can stumble off in yours. The next 2 days later, he comes by. He hands you the money, and it ends up being, I don't know what's appropriate for this thing. Let's say it's 30 gold pieces, which is a lot.
For a 13-year-old, yeah.
Yeah, and it's your birthday.
Is it?
And you tell him this, and he says, "Happy birthday."
Thank you. Want to go grab some cake?
I'm shipping out in an hour, and
Oh, okay.
I gotta go.
All right. Well, it was good doing business with you. Again, I'm sorry you lost your friends.
And he looks at you and says, "You should get out too." And then he walks away.
Bye. Damn. I end up spending all of my money on Shine anyway, and I dive into a big, deep drug addiction. And, yeah. It's bad.
All right. And I think that's the end of the story you tell, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Where can people find you?
Where can I be found? Well, as usual, I can be found through my website, superlisa.nl. And I'll try to stream more, but I'm in the midst of moving. Although by the time this episode goes up, I should be back to streaming every weekend, hopefully.
I'm dewtroid, and I do this mostly. Our music is by Ian Stalker. We always appreciate any feedback we get, so feel free to leave any. Also, tell your friends. It's classier for girls to do heroin.
Please, no, it's not. Don't do drugs, kids. Don't
do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't.